Welcome to a new episode of Delphine Circle, where we uncover the mind, body, and spirit of success. Subscribe now for free to receive updates on the latest interviews. Then, sit back, relax, and tune in.
Hi, Dr. Carl. Welcome to the Circle.
Thank you so much. Great being here.
Today we have Dr. Carl Rothschild, board-certified doctor of chiropractic, founder of Trifecta Light, a full-body, professional-grade red light therapy device. We met recently through our mutual friends, Stephen E. Redford of Wake Up Events. I love Stephen, and he raves about this device. He had me come down and try it out, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So he put us in contact, and here you are today.
I'm great. I'm so grateful to have an opportunity to explain to people the wonders of light therapy.
Well, I'm so excited you're here because I think I told you I had tried red light in a couple different beauty products with a helmet and a thing, and I honestly never really saw results. So I think I had kind of started thinking, it's a gimmick or maybe it doesn't really work. But after doing research, I realized, boy, I was wrong. Please explain to us, start at the top, what exactly is red light therapy?
Okay, if I may, I started in red light therapy about 25 years ago, one of the first ones in the country. I got introduced to light therapy, and nobody at the time even knew what we could do with that. The only instructions we got was, well, you can't hurt anybody. So I would go to each of my patients. I've been a chiropractor for 44 years, and again, I've been in light therapy for 25 years, but that time in the beginning, I would go to my patients and say, okay, I've been working with you as a chiropractor. What else do you got besides what you would normally tell your chiropractor about? This person says, I have kidney problems. I have no idea if I can help. We help. This lady says, I have gum disease. We help. This guy came in with a horrific ripped Achilles tendon that the orthopedic that we sent him to indicated for sure that this guy needed surgery. And I asked the orthopedist, it's okay if we wait a week. And we treated that person every day, one day, even twice. And by the time they went for the surgical review, they didn't need surgery.
Wow.
And a lot of times in medicine and in health in general, what they do is they see something works, but they don't always know why it works. So I'll tell you, for the longest time, they didn't know why it worked. But what we were able to do is to isolate the different types of light that there are. It all comes from the sun. And essentially what we've done is we've isolated the red, which is in the mid-range of the red, and the near-infrared. All the other lights that people talk about, if I were to substitute a different color for the ones that we're using, that means I have one less near-infrared or one less red that I would be using. I don't want to do that. The red range and the near-infrared are amazing. When I started, it was near-infrared. That's what we're all using. It was extremely healing. I started with a class 1 device. I eventually got to a class 4 device, which is unbelievable. But it has a head about this big around. So what can you do with that? If I wanted to do, for example, neuropathy or sciatica, I'm treating the low back, down the buttocks, down the thigh, down the leg, on the foot. It's a long-term project. And while I'm treating this part's not being treated. So for a number of reasons, we came out with a bed. And what we did was and part of it is my patients would come to me and say, this is great. Wouldn't it be nice if I could be in a closet full of these lights or something like that? Well, that's essentially what we've done, but they don't have to sit up or stand. They're lying down and we're bathing their lights, their body with these lights.
So what does it actually do to the cells? How does it help the body?
That's a great question. And I got together with a brilliant videographer, and we put together a really nice video. But I'll explain it. So what they finally realized is that the near-infrared actually stimulates the cells at the mitochondrial level. What I mean by that is that every tissue in your body is made up of cells. Every cell that's exposed to our red or near infrared, mostly near infrared. We're going to be stimulating the mitochondria. What does that mean? We're going to increase ATP production, which is amazing. Now we're going to get the body to heal faster, we call it getting it back to normal. We're not going to have an excessive amount of anything. We're going to bring the body back to normal. And that's what we do. So we bring somebody to heal tissue. We had a lady that had a scar, deep and broad scar for 30-something years. And in a relatively short period of time, with our lights and the bed, it was gone. Now that scar was ruining her colon. She wound up with ulcerative colitis, and now she's fine.
Wow.
So some of the things are startling even to us. I mean, when you come out with equipment, you're praying that everyone's going to love it. But when we saw the bed and the results that we were getting with that, it surprised us. Somebody telling us about dementia, someone telling us about Parkinson's, someone telling us about pretty much any part of the body.
Wow.
But I know your interest might be in aesthetics, right?
Yeah, well, I have a background in the beauty industry. And what I thought was really interesting is a lot of the technologies that we've seen come out of the beauty industry, like the lasers and the chemical peels, and they are all starting with damaging cells so that our body creates new ones. But what you do with the red light bed has nothing to do with damaging cells. It just creates the energy without needing to go that extra step. So in the beauty industry, I've never known any treatment that was effective in tightening body skin. I mean, there really was not anything good out. But you're saying that the red light therapy can help with skin. Tell us how it works on the skin.
So again, there are two elements to the device. One is red, and we have two ranges of red, and the other is near infrared. Red is about weight loss and fat loss. We're going to talk about that later. It's the near infrared that's going to heal tissue. And that means get rid of sagging skin, get rid of stretch marks, get rid of almost anything on the skin. Skin tags, acne, eczema, psoriasis. We've yet to see some rosacea. I mean, I've had patients come to me with rosacea. They hated it. And now we can fade that. We can get rid of the fine lines and wrinkles, or at least fade the fine lines and wrinkles, not because we're putting any filler in there. I'm not against those things. But here we're healing the tissue, and so we'll fade it. They'll look younger. I call it the fountain of youth, the bed. Other people call it the well-body bed, things like that. But the ability that we have to help people, and the reason why it's called the trifecta, if I may, face, fat, and healing. And with face, we're also talking about all of the skin, all over it, and anti-aging.
Anti-aging, yeah, that's amazing. Well, I know that what it's probably most well known for, at least when I was researching it, is weight loss.
Yeah.
It seems to have incredible benefits to weight loss. Tell us a little bit about how it works with weight loss.
It's not just its benefits. I've been involved with weight loss since the day I was born. My mother became an executive of Weight Watchers. I know diet. I know weight loss. I know what we call foodaholics, which is different than people are what we call naturally thin. And it's difficult to lose weight. Some people can starve themselves and they think that that's the route to go. What the lights do is it helps somebody to lose weight. If we market anything else out there, whether we're giving, the only other thing that's more popular than weight loss is giving away free money. There's nothing else. Weight loss is unbelievably powerful, unbelievably, popular, and people want that. They're going to come into the office. They're going to experience, and I know we were talking before off cameras about how many visits before you see results. We've certainly seen people with just one visit, but it really depends on how healthy they are. And a weight loss point of view, it's also how cooperative they're going to be. Is this person really going to assist us in losing that weight, or are they going to go home and eat, drink a 6-pack of beer and eat excessive amounts of food? If they help us with just a calorically neutral diet and we add the lights, the results are nice. But let me explain the difference between what I told you before about increasing ATP. There's that mechanism. Over the last decade, they learned a new mechanism, how red light actually changes the fat cell wall, just temporarily, to allow the contents of the cell, fat cells, to leak out. And this is what made the whole industry take off. I'm talking about light therapy. Up until that point, we're just healing everything. Now we can also shrink fat cells.
So let me understand this. So
we're not damaging anything.
The fat cells excrete their fat or their toxins, shrinking the cells. So that's how people lose weight.
Right.
That's incredible.
So what happens is, I'm not sure we're going to use the word excrete, but we're going to, all cells are under pressure naturally. So if we put a little not permanent, but temporary pores, allowing the fat contents to leak out, then with our protocol, we move that fat contents away from the fat cell, eventually to the liver for use or elimination.
And that's why you're saying that they need to do some sort of an exercise or step on the vibration bed to help to detox the body of those things that
critical. So
coming out.
We get them off the bed. They get themselves off the bed. They get dressed. They come out of the room. They go on the whole body vibrational device. And while they're on there, we have other protocols to help them to move that fat as best we can away from the fat cells. Wow. Now, some people will also wear girdles or other kind of things to assist so that the fat doesn't go back into the fat cells. So it's important that we try to get as much of that fat that we've released away from the fat cells as possible.
Well, what I thought was really interesting is what you were saying about you don't want to kill the fat cells, right? Because in liposuction, cool sculpting, the other big devices in the industry, they actually damage the fat cells, which I thought, oh, this is good. You don't want them, take them out. But you're saying, no, you need to keep your fat cells in there because that's where your energy is created, right?
Well, from the time that you're 18 and fully grown, both nerves and fat cells, nerve cells and fat cells, the ones you have at that point, that's what you're going to die with. Yeah. You don't grow new ones. So if you're going to eliminate them, you wouldn't eliminate nerve cells. The only problem that fat cells have is a lousy name called fat cells. I wish I had a more exotic name. Maybe we wouldn't just go killing them left and right. When you kill a fat cell, you're eliminating the possibility. I mean, what do fat cells do? They help with stem cell production. They help with other hormones. They help, of course, with storing fat, but they also store other things as well. And they even help.
And we need those as we get older.
Absolutely. And they all, ironically, one of the hormones that's involved with the fat cell has to do with appetite suppression. Well, we don't want to eliminate that. Mm-hmm. And I think sometime in the future, and I can't swear to this, but I think in the future they're going to find some ill effect of having destroyed essential tissue. Mm-hmm. I don't see any research that they've done to show that it's safe 20, 30 years mm-hmm. down the road. So with our mechanism, we're not destroying anything, quite the opposite. Mm-hmm. We're healing tissue. Yeah. We're helping tissue.
Well, and I love that the red light also helps with tightening the skin, because that's another thing that people deal with if they've gone through major weight loss, is that they have that loose skin, and those other mechanisms aren't helping with that.
Yeah, no, you would be surprised. We don't create sagging or, in fact, if someone comes in with stretch marks, we're going to probably get rid of them. I mean, if they had them forever, it might be more difficult, but typically we get rid of stretch marks and we get rid of anything that, I mean, this looks gorgeous when we're done.
But it's not just weight loss and aesthetics. It also has all these healing opportunities as well. Pain management. Tell me a little bit of what you've been seeing in terms of the types of conditions that you're seeing healing improvement with.
When I talk to a patient, I say, you see the top of your head, the bottom of your feet, inside out, left, right, and front and back. There's a good likelihood we're going to be able to help that. So we've gotten people report about Parkinson's, dementia, and not mild. I'm talking about severe versions of that. And by using
this is surprising to me. So it's not just physical things; it's mental well-being as well.
Well, we didn't get to that, but yes, absolutely, and it makes sense if you think about it. They know that in some areas that have more dark, more cloudy days, like mm-hmm. the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I have those.
But I mean, in the Pacific Northwest, where they have more cloudy days, as opposed to sunnier areas, there's a higher level of depression. Yeah. And so we know that light helps mentally. And yet we're seeing on a regular basis people telling us about having a better sense of better feeling about their lives, feeling better about their lives. So yes, it helps with mental health as well.
That's incredible.
Now, I don't know if I've told you this, but the bed comes with goggles. In fact, the bed comes with 25 different things, including all these things, but it comes with goggles. And I'm trying to get people not to use them and just keep your eyes closed and then eventually blink through it And I'm telling you, we're hearing people who are having success with eye issues, like macular degeneration,
Wow.
like retinal issues, other retinal issues, like floaters. So why would I want to not have that? So
Right.
someone might say, well, it seems like it's so bright. Would it be damaging to the eye? Quite the opposite. It's unbelievably healing.
Interesting.
Same thing. I have them keep their mouth open as well for gum disease, tongue, throat, anything that we can access, we want to. So I think you were going to ask me, I think we were talking about how much do they wear? Maybe we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
we're going to actually go look in front of the machine, but explain to me, so is it primarily anything that's like tissue or nerve related? I mean, can you break it down into like what specifically is helped by it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to sound crazy when I say everything. Because every tissue is made up of cells. Every cell has mitochondria. And every cell that we affect that has mitochondria, we're going to perk that mitochondria up. I'm using layman's term. And by doing that, it increases ATP production, which is about the energy source in the body. And we're going to get that body back to normal. So we'd be hard pressed to figure out what we could not help. If it has a cell, which every tissue has, we're talking about the hair. We've had people who have thinning of hair and now they don't.
Oh my gosh.
Especially women as they get older, we're hearing that they see a lot of hair in their drain at the end of a shower.
Yeah.
That stops.
Oh my gosh.
That stops.
Okay, you're selling me a bed. I feel it. I feel it coming on. Kids, we're getting a bed.
What I'm selling you on is a technology that is just incredible.
Yeah.
And the bed is the latest version of what I've been using for 20-something years. Lasers, pads. We used to put pads over people's body, and we still have those. But the bed's so easy. I have one of these beds in my house, my home office. I get in it myself. I get out of it myself. I don't need any help. So you don't need extra staff. You don't need anything. You train the person how to get in and get it out, which is very simple. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you barely have a wrinkle on your face and a full head of hair, so clearly something's working out here.
I appreciate that.
I spent some time in the hemp industry, and there's a term there called the entourage effect. And that is saying don't separate cannabinoids or CBD, but actually use the entire plant because there's benefits in all of it. Is that not the same with light? I mean, is there not benefits in blue light, green light, white light, other types of lights?
So we have a certain number of lights that we can put in the bed. We absolutely know that near infrared for healing is it. It's phenomenal. So I want to have near infrared in there. I don't want green. I don't want blue. I want near infrared. And then we integrate our bed with red, which is not, so near infrared is invisible to the naked eye. You can't see it. Red is why when it comes on, that's the red that's so strong and bright. And red has some healing qualities, but it's what we use for the fat loss as well. So integrating those two lights is the ideal situation. Do I have the opportunity to put any lights in there, any color? Obviously. You put blue and purple, and we've experimented with those. And what we're doing is we're taking away what we know works so phenomenally well. We have other people that say, well, the more lights you have, the better. I mean, different lights. No, you're detracting and subtracting from the critical red and near infrared. Yeah. I'm a near infrared kind of guy. As a chiropractor, I was mostly involved with trying to heal people. We didn't know about weight loss until within the last decade, where they discovered that, by accident, red light shrinks fat cells. But we were all using near infrared. And now we've integrated those. We started with the integration of red and near infrared, and now other people have come on board and realized that's the way to go.
So if people have said, I tried that red light helmet, or I tried that mirror I'm supposed to sit in front of, I didn't really see results. Why could that be?
When I started off, my device, my whole system was 90 milliwatts. The whole system. And it worked okay. And that's what you're getting when you're that kind of level of power that you're going to get on your own home use and stuff like that. This device, each LED that we have is 30 times stronger than just my entire system in the back. Wow. Just one LED, and we have thousands, over 3,000 of these LEDs. Okay. So we multiply by 30 times 3,000.
Wow. So it's the concentration.
It's so much more powerful. So if a little bit's pretty good, how about the perfect amount is going to make those changes. And so we see hair changes all the time. And when we see the bed, I'll show you, we have, even without the head panel that we have, the bed itself does phenomenally well. And then we have a head panel that actually shoots the rays perpendicular. So it goes into the feet if we turn the person around for neuropathies. And by the way, you would maybe talking about sciatica and neuropathies in general. We have amazing success with neuropathy. So we'll have a guy that hasn't walked his dog in 15 years. His name is Joey. And Joey goes, and after 6 sessions, I'm walking my dog. It's the first time he's seen his neighbors practically. He's on the treadmill. He's doing things after just 6 visits. He went 15 years with basically hardly walking. And now he's walking. I mean, I love this.
You probably hear these stories every day.
I hear a lot, yes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It's very, it's just very amazing to me. I believe that success has to do with passion and belief. If you believe in something and you have the passion behind it, and it's true, obviously, that's what it's about. And I have unbelievable passion here because I'm witnessing. We have 400 units all over the country of different equipment. And I get feedback more than anybody else about how these things are helping the planet. I love it.
I love it too. Okay, well, here we are in front of the beautiful Trifecta red light therapy bed. It kind of looks like a tanning bed.
So the first beds that we created was using that as a kind of foundation.
Okay.
So what we did is the tanning bed industry was suffering, so we said, okay, we'll take the guts out of the tanning bed and put our healing and wonderful lights in there.
All right, well, that's what it looks like.
So this is the next generation. So this one was never a tanning bed.
Okay.
But it still has that kind of. It was so simple and so easy to use. If I may show you, look at you get in the bed, you close
you just lower it.
You're
yeah,
in,
easy.
and now we're bathing. Remember before I was telling you, my patients always said, I would love to get bathed in this light, and now we can.
Now you can do it.
Head to toe.
All right, so you said it's about 3 feet by 6 feet.
6'2", about 3 feet wide.
And what model is this?
This is the Pro 300.
Okay.
So we have a larger one.
Okay.
This is the smaller model. I call it the Queen model, and we have the King model.
Nice, nice. And how does this model how does this bed compare to other beds that are on the market like it?
This is the best.
Okay, and why is that?
It has to do with power.
Okay.
And it has to do with things that we can do with this that no other bed can do. One of the key things is not only do we have a lot of power, we're talking about over 3,000, it's like 3,400 LEDs. Each one has the potential of 3,000 milliwatts.
Incredible. Wow.
It was very powerful. But if you were to put it at full power and a constant wave, the patient would not be able to tolerate it. So what we have the capability of doing with this bed is we're actually able to pulse the wave. By pulsing the wave, you're doing a lot of different things. There are two main things. One, we're going to dissipate any heat that might develop while that's being done. And the other thing is frequency. If anyone's familiar with sound or vibrational frequency, it resonates with different parts of your body. So if you go online, for example, and put in the word universal frequency for universal body healing or something like that, it'll give you the frequency that we would set this at for healing. And then if you put in the same thing that I just described in Google, and you put in the word weight loss frequency or something like that, it would give you the other setting that we would put on here. So we put the red at one setting for frequency. We put the near infrared for a different one for healing. So it serves two purposes. By pulsing the wave, we're going to be able to dissipate the heat. So we can raise the power more on this bed than other beds because of that pulsation, and then also because of the resonance. Wow. So I wanted to mention also we can control the power, both of the red and the near infrared. Red is pretty powerful, but you can handle it at 100% power, no problem. Near infrared is what's so strong and penetrates so deep that we have to control the power. And that's why we are allowed to have so much power, but we're going to dissipate the heat with the pulsations, and then we're going to lower the power. For the near infrared, for an average person, we're at about 40% power.
Wow.
But if they're larger and they have more meat on them, they can handle more power. We can get up to 80% power.
Well, let's see it in action.
Okay.
We have a model here. Violet, come on in. Her disrobe right there. So now, is this something that somebody can operate on their own, or does this require a technician to
I
operate
get in
it?
this myself.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. So slide on in there. So you would just pull this closed.
So we're going to lower, before we do that,
Uh-huh.
let me actually have you slide down towards your feet a little bit. Right there, that's good. And then the first thing the patient does is they put on the head, if we're going to use the head panel, we're going to turn on the head panel.
Okay.
And then we're going to turn on the bed.
Okay, how do we do that?
So the head panel just goes on like this. And then somebody might say, wow, is that dangerous to look into it? And it's quite the opposite. It's so healing that we actually have people who will go in and they'll keep their eyes closed, and eventually they'll actually blink through it, and we'll be able to help them with eye issues.
Wow. So they don't need to wear protective eye gear for this?
Well, I'm supposed to say yes. You're supposed to wear goggles, but then how are we going to get the light into the eye?
Okay.
So I just have patients, some people are super hypersensitive to that, so just keep your eyes closed and then try to blink through it. And eventually you can keep your eyes open more than not, like myself. And then I also have them keep their mouth open for gum disease, tongue, throat. Not that the person has gum disease, but how about if they don't want to get gum disease?
There you go. Absolutely. All right. So what next?
So the next thing, we would set that on. They get in the bed. We had already set some of the factors here.
Okay.
So if you can take a gander of this. So we have the red set at 296 hertz. That's 296 beats per second. We have the near infrared, which is the healing, at 528 hertz, just like I had described before. We have the power of the red at 100%. Again, exactly what I said. And we have the power of the near infrared at 40%. So what the person would do before they even get in the bed, they turn that on and they're stripped down to their bikini, and then they turn this on, and it gives them 15 seconds to get in the bed. They pull it closed themselves, and keep your eyes closed, or they would be wearing goggles. And when it comes on like gangbusters.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Are there any side effects that people have spoken of?
In the 40-something years that this technology has been studied, it's very important what I'm about to tell you. There has never been a recorded side effect.
Wow.
Nothing.
That's incredible. Are you doing okay in there, Violet?
Yeah. It's pretty nice. I can take a nap.
Awesome.
So now what we do is we also play, I would normally have an Alexa in the room or something. I'm not trying to sell anything here, but I would have some kind of a thing where I could just say, play certain frequencies. And we give our people the different frequencies they can play. So this is light frequency, and then we would also have sound frequency going on at the same time. So I would just ask Amazon, I'd say, Alexa, play the 528 hertz for the healing, or I would play the 295.8 for fat loss. And it's kind of an interesting thing. And it also helps the person, they get bored otherwise, being here, even though it's just 12 minutes. So they're listening to that as well. It kind of helps the time go by.
It's amazing. Great stuff. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Dr. Bennett, I love your clinic here.
Thank you very
and
much.
I definitely want to come back and talk to
Please
you more
do.
about the modalities that you have here. But talking about the Trifecta red light bed, what have you been seeing from your clients in terms of results after using the bed?
Well, it's incredible. As a physician, you try to give patients the best possible treatment imaginable. And since this is a new type of therapy, we really haven't had too much time to be able to test things. But I can tell you for a fact we have 3 positive outcomes right now. We've only tried it on 3 patients, and we have excellent outcomes.
Yay.
One male patient, 56 years old, came in with sciatica. I didn't even know whether it would help or not. With one treatment, one 12-minute treatment, he couldn't believe it. He was ecstatic. He came running to me saying, my pain is gone. The sciatic pain running down his right leg was gone. It's incredible. I was flabbergasted.
12
I
minutes.
loved it. Yeah, 12-minute treatment. It was incredible. Another patient we have has chronic constipation, problems with constipation, using medications to be able to help him. But he tried one treatment, it helped a little bit. He tried 6 treatments. Now he says he doesn't have to use any more pills. It's incredible.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's
it's incredible. Then we have another female in her 30s. She came in, she has chronic anxiety. She's using medications, she's using some of our therapies. And I said, well, again, I don't have much experience with it, but let's see what happens. We put her on the frequency for anxiety, and believe it or not, she came out saying, I feel better.
Wow.
It was absolutely mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. This new technology is going to really help us enhance what we have here in the clinic.
Love it. So fortunately, if people that are watching are in Orange County, we have this beautiful WHAM clinic that we're at today that they can come to for treatments. But if they're not in Orange County, how can they find where to go for a Trifecta red light bed?
So if they go online to trifectalightbed.com,
Okay.
trifectalightbed.com, on the contact page, they would just send a message that where they are, and we'll find them a location closest to them.
That makes it so easy. Dr. Carl Rothschild, so awesome to have you here today. I so appreciate you taking the time, and we're so excited to spread the news about the beautiful Trifecta red light therapy bed.
Wow, I'm very appreciative about being here as well. It was great sharing with you.
Yay!
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Delphine Circle. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free and it will help us keep these incredible interviews coming your way. Here are 2 other episodes you may enjoy. I'm Delphine. Welcome to my circle.